It all starts here, Tire Rack headquarters in South Bend, Indiana. Ahead of the 68 teams gathered in this parking lot are 9 days, 8 racetracks, and 3,500 miles. That's the same as driving from Seattle to Key West. But we won't have such a tropical finish. Tonight we drive up to Road America in Wisconsin before heading to the western end of Iowa at Mid-America. Then we head as far east as New Jersey Motorsports Park before coming back here and finishing where we started. The first event is a wet skid pad. Each team gets 2 chances in either direction to record the highest average lateral G they possibly can around this 200-foot circle. The first car out, the Nissan GTR that won last year, just broke the record, .962 average G in the wet. Really impressive performance. They've already taken off because, like all of us, we have to be in Wisconsin tonight. Day 2 starts at Road America. This is the first time one-lappers have been on a racetrack. This is a long and difficult one. It tests vehicle preparation and driver skill. We've had a bunch of cars go off, we've had a few cars break down, and 1 car rolled actually with no injuries, thankfully. There's 2 events here at this track, meaning it's going to be a long day, but it'll be an even longer drive. We have 600 miles to go before we get to the next racetrack, which is Mid-America and the western end of Iowa. So Jim, tell me what happened out there.
Well, the power steering pulley kind of exploded and it took out the bottom of the power steering reservoir. I think we are really iffy on getting the second event today in, but I think we'll make the rest of the trip, yeah.
So Richard, tell me, did you get lost on the way to the grocery store and happen across one lap? What happened?
Well, I've always read about one lap and always wanted to do it. And we're Mazda dealers, so we thought it would be sort of witty with all this stuff we've got to carry to do it in a van.
So what have you done to the Mazda 5?
It's got Mazda Speed 3 running gear. We got a crashed 08 Mazda Speed 3 and pulled the engine and transmission out of it, and our guys at work, 2 guys doing it part-time, put it all in here. We sent it out, put a cage. We've got coil-over suspension. Running gear stock. It's a stock Mazda Speed 3 engine with exhaust, intake, and software.
So you're facing off against a Dodge Ram SRT10, a Ford F-150 Lightning, and a BMW X6M. What do you think your chances are?
Well, they've obviously got a lot more horsepower, but we think our car will handle better because it's a Mazda.
Day 3 begins at Mid-America Motorplex in Pacific Junction, Iowa. This track is a lot flatter, a lot slower than Road America. It's a little over 2 miles long, and a lot of people over here have been comparing it to a big autocross course or a big go-kart track. Not to say it should be taken lightly, though. It's already claimed one victim. Last year's winning GTR is out of the whole event. They lost compression in one cylinder and decided to hit the road. One Lap has a history of giant killers, and one, for example, is this 93 Civic Si, piloted by John and Will here. So tell us about the car a little bit.
The most interesting aspect is it's a twin-charged 1.6 liter single overhead cam. So basically we have a turbo feeding a supercharger, and we're putting out about 300 horsepower and 248 foot-pounds torque. So for a light car, 2,200 pounds, it goes like stink.
And I saw in the back there's an ice chest full of water and ice. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So to cool the air temperatures down to make more power, rather than running an air intercooler, we wanted to reduce the amount of plumbing, reduce maintain it as simple as possible. So we're actually running ice water through an intercooler to cool the water down to below ambient temperatures before it hits the engine.
Okay, Howard, we heard you tried an interesting aerobatic maneuver in your Cadillac yesterday. Can you tell us what happened?
Well, I wouldn't exactly say I tried, but I did have an incident on the track up in Road America on my recon lap. I was coming down a long straight stretch and put the brakes on the car, probably doing 120, 130. And I partially slowed down, and then the car just didn't want to stop, and so I went right straight through the sand, and I turned the car quickly sideways, or tried to, and I hit some tires, and then I guess I went airborne and did a flip over the fence into a bank.
And walked away just fine.
Oh yeah, no problem.
But that didn't stop you. So what happened afterwards?
Okay, well, no, this is my 17th year doing the One Lap America, so we definitely want to continue going and do the rest of the events. So spent some time looking for a rental car to take us back to Syracuse, New York via the rest of the race. Couldn't find anybody that would rent me a one-way car. So when I was talking to the Chevy dealer, trying to negotiate a rental, it looked like it would be better if maybe I bought a car. So I asked them if they had anything in the $10,000 to $15,000 range, American-made, rear-wheel drive, and so he pointed me to this Chrysler Crossfire.
Day 4 holds two racetracks for the One Lap crew. The first is Hallett Raceway, a challenging technical track in Jennings, Oklahoma. There's been no incidents this morning, but the day's far from over. After this, we head an hour north to Tulsa for some drag racing. We end our day at Tulsa Raceway Park in Oklahoma. This quarter-mile drag strip should be interesting. A lot of the cars here have a lot of horsepower and stock transmissions. We'll see how they last on this prepped surface. is turn 1 of Gateway International Raceway in Illinois, just outside of St. Louis. One-lappers for day 5 are using the 1.6-mile infield for their racing. It's a very fast track, demands a lot of attention, and unfortunately, we all got in this morning at about 2 o'clock. There's a lot of people sleeping in the pits right now. It's day 6. We're at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. This is the third to last event at the 2010 Tire Rack One Lap of America. We're at New Jersey Motorsports Park. We're about as far east as this week will take us. We're running the Lightning track at this motorsports complex, which is a short, fast track like many of the other ones we've been to this week. A lot of the competitors here are just in cruise control. They're waiting just to get done. Tonight we drive back through Pennsylvania to Ohio, where tomorrow we'll race on Nelson Ledges. Everybody's looking forward to that track. It should be very interesting. The last track we visit this week is Nelson Ledges Raceway, which is just east of Cleveland, Ohio. This is the fastest racetrack we'll see. It's an old school track. There's actually grass growing in between the seams of the pavement. We've had a couple issues today. A car blew up. We've also had a car set off its airbags. Fortunately, tomorrow we finish. We return back to the TireRax headquarters in South Bend, Indiana for a dry skid pad run. We've been fortunate enough to have perfect weather all week. That's all changed last night in South Bend, Indiana, for the last day of the One Lap of America. Storms roll through, and right now it's so cold I can barely talk. Today, we were supposed to have a dry skid pad. The wet conditions have changed all that. Not that it matters too much because the standings have basically settled. All right, Lee, Doug, it's your first One Lap of America win. Not only did you take the top spot, you set the record on this semi-dry skid pad that we had. How does it feel?
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's the only word I can think is it's just amazing. We put the Top Speed GT2 together in about 2 weeks. Had 1 day of testing, changed the setup again, and like all of One Lap we've been making changes. And never in a million years did we think it would be this good.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good feeling now. We finally get to relax a little bit. The GTR was always right behind us. We did everything we could. We won every single road course event, and then just did the record here at the skid pad. So now we're relieved. Doug built an incredible car. Just great to drive on the interstate and then just hauls butt on the racetrack. So just happy.
And that's it for the 2010 One Lap of America. See you next year.